Old saying, John McCain used to mangle this quote from Chairman Mao. He used to say, it's darkest before it turns completely black. That's where Joe Biden is right now. Schools are closing. People out in the country have COVID exhaustion. Here in Washington, the president is disappointing his own base. So he has two giant problems. One is with the broader country that doesn't wake up every day with a checklist. What did Joe Biden do for me today? They wake up every day to try to live their very complicated, stressful lives now in beginning of year 3 of this pandemic. And candidate Joe Biden said, I'm not Donald Trump. I'll be better at this. President Joe Biden back in July said, we're going to begin a summer of freedom. Well, people don't feel like they have that summer of freedom, do they, with Omicron surging? So the COVID frustration, the impact on schools, on businesses, on the economy, on public health, has an exhausted country saying, Mr. President, you really haven't given us what you promised. Then his own base says, Mr. President, you haven't given us what you promised. And in a midterm election year, he needs to motivate his base. Now, look, Joe Biden thought when he won in November, he was going to have a Democratic House and a Republican Senate, and he would be more of a centrist deal maker. Then they won those 2 Senate seats in Georgia, and Democratic expectations went off the charts. He's been unable to fulfill those expectations, and so he has that problem. The country is frustrated. His party is frustrated. We're 2 weeks into a midterm election year, a few days away from his 1-year anniversary of inauguration, and it is black. It is very dark for him right now.
Jen Psaki, the White House press secretary, tried to frame this yesterday by saying, the White House is trying to do hard things. The Biden administration is trying to do hard things. That's the business of governing. The problem is they really have nothing to show for it the last couple of months. They are on a very big losing streak. They're going to hate this framing, but the things they've tried to accomplish haven't worked out, and they're having a hard time putting points on the board, John.
They are. And you mentioned the timing is important. It is true. Joe Biden, the American Rescue Plan, the COVID Relief Act was huge and significant. The bipartisan infrastructure deal, the president will go back to talking about that today. That's no accident. Go back to talking about something you did that actually worked. Donald Trump tried for 4 years to get a big infrastructure plan. Joe Biden did. There are big achievements here. The unemployment rate is at a historic low. They just added 2 million people to Obamacare because the Biden administration is pushing to do it. So there are some good numbers there. But the big things, just talk to your friends, talk to your family. People around the country, they're just exhausted from this pandemic. So that's the big dynamic, the wind in his face. And you're right, of late, he's having a miserable streak, in part because, again, they let expectations get so high.